Okay, welcome to the first chapter on our 2-5-1 licks. Before we get started, there's a couple of things that I just want to show you that pertain to your left hand, the kind of things I want you to do with your left hand while you're practicing these licks. So we're going to do all of these licks in the key of B flat major, which means our 2-5-1 progression is going to be C minor 7, F7, B flat, major 7. That's just for uniformity and to make it a little bit easier for you to follow. But of course, you want to practice all of these 2-5-1 licks in all 12 keys. So once you learn it in one key, you're going to want to go and transpose it and be able to play it in a bunch of other keys. So a little bit more on that as we go. But back to your left hand. There's two ways I'd like you to use your left hand as we do these licks. The first is using the shell voicings. So C minor 7 would look something like this, or like that. Any of the options that we've talked about in the various other lessons. F7, or here if you can reach it, and then B flat major 7 works perfectly in that range, in all spelled out in root position. Okay, any of those. 2, 5, 1. And the reason you want to practice with that shell voicing first is so that you can hear the root movement. You want to hear the 2, the C minor, the 5, the F7, and the 1, the B flat. You want to hear those roots in the bass. But after you've practiced that, you want to practice your left hand in our 4-way closed position rootless voicings, which is a long description, but just basically means 4-way meaning 4 notes, rootless meaning no root, closed position meaning within an octave. So this is our C minor 7 voicing, F7, B flat major 7. Okay, and you can do that in various places. C minor 7, F7, B flat major 7. All right, so that's how you want to practice your left hand. So let's now go back and learn our first 2-5-1 lick. The first lick okay, that's our lick. And again, I'm not going to say this through every lick, but just to get us started anyway, I can't stress enough the importance of practicing with a metronome. Gives you that good time feel, gives you a good sense of swing. If you want to put your metronome on all 4 beats, or some people prefer to put their metronome on beats 2 and 4, so they can really hear that strong kind of jazz swing, you know, stressing the 2nd and the 4th beat. But you really should be practicing with your metronome as you go through these, so you have a nice sense of time and a nice feel as you practice. So here's our lick. Now I've just practiced it with my left hand playing my shell voicings. Now I'm going to practice it with my left hand playing the rootless closed position voicings. Or if I'm getting in the way of my hand, I can separate them, you know, space it out more. Okay, so those are the 2 ways I want you to practice that lick. Now let's just break this lick down quickly and kind of see where it's coming from. It's very diatonic, which means the notes contained in this lick are coming really from B flat major 7. There's not a lot of chromatic or outside notes. So it's all coming from these pitches. 99, 98% of it is. C minor 7 is the 2, right? So all I'm doing in my right hand for this lick is I'm arpeggiating this same shape. Here's my rootless position voicing for C minor. And I'm just arpeggiating that down. And then back up. Then I go up to my F, and I walk down chromatically. So here's one instance where there's a chromatic note, the E natural. may have noticed I'm also putting a bit of a bluesy kind of grace note in there. Okay, you can add that in as well if you'd like. You don't have to. So again, it's all coming from B flat with the exception of that one chromatic note, the E. So that's our lick. So now, as I had referred to earlier, you'd want to practice these licks in all 12 keys. You don't want to just learn how to play them in one key. You want to get the most benefit out of this by learning it in all 12 keys. Does that mean that you're going to play in all 12 keys? No, there's certainly keys that I very rarely play in. And there are certainly other keys that I play in quite frequently. But the idea of going through and learning it in all 12 keys is the process by which your brain starts to really internalize and understand the notes in the lick. And that's what feeds your playing, feeds your ability to improvise. Because you'll have it under your fingers, and thinking through it in a bunch of difficult keys will make it easier for you to play in some of the easier and more conventional keys. At the same time, it's going to be spinning those wheels of your understanding for how to improvise, because you'll see that line in different keys take different shapes. And you want that. You want that to seep in so that the line, eventually, the lick just comes out as part of your own playing, and it's not something that you have to kind of plug in. So what I would do is I would take let's use my closed position rootless voicings in my left hand, and I'm going to play this lick. Now I'm in B flat major. I'm going to make this B flat major the 2 of my next 2-5-1. So B flat major becomes B flat minor in the key of A flat. Oops. There it is. And then that A flat major becomes A flat minor in the key of G flat. Okay, so I'd go through all my keys that way. And so on and so forth. You go through all 12 keys that way so that you have that line under your fingers. Now, of course, I've practiced some of these licks. You may need to sit down and go very slowly and learn these licks, note by note by note, trying to identify how the line moves, what the next note would be in the lick, because different keys are going to be harder to play in. But that's how I would practice it. So, to recap quickly, first starting out with your shell voicings in your left hand, then next playing the line again with the rootless voicings, then going through and playing it in different keys.